Alrighty then. Hello there. Do, do, do. Hello. It's me. Welcome to Into the Multiverse. Into the Multiverse, for anyone who doesn't know, is hey cat. Anyone who doesn't know, Into the Multiverse is a series of D&D campaigns, all set in the world of Gostar. Gostar being a big teardrop world that drips from the elemental chaos. And that is where all these stories take place. And every campaign takes place in an alternate timeline or reality in the world of Gostar. And today I will be building some maps. Specifically, I'm going to be building Zercha's Tower. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Zercha is a king who rules over the city of Star Platinum. Now, Star Platinum is a massive merchant's city, the richest city in all of Gostar, that's built into a massive meteor that crash landed several hundred years ago. And this meteor itself, kind of like vibranium, has a very rare resource known as Star Platinum, which is what the city is named after. And this material is more or less indestructible. It can only be smelted down by magical means. Has somewhat resistant to magic, but can also be used to channel magic very well. And when refined into its purest form, it looks like glass. It's very lightweight, very strong. It can be made into armor, weapons, everything else. And also, in some places, they've learned how to mold it and change the shape of it using their mind, using psychic powers. And I'm going to be building Zercha's Tower. Zercha is the king of this place. The players have learned that he is a Rakshasa, so he's a shapeshifter. And over the... Hello! Thank you. The Hellish Bard. Hello, hun. So Zercha has made his way up into power through acquiring these wishing coins. And these wishing coins, when you gather all three, you flip them like a proper coin, and you make a wish. Depends on if you get heads or tails on the coins, how well the wish will work out for you. But he has acquired most of his wealth, he's acquired this kingdom, and everything else through gathering these wishing coins over and over again. And so this is the palace he lives in. Outside the castle walls is what looks like a barren wasteland, but in fact it's a huge, elaborate, invisible maze that changes every day. And only him and a few of the other people who work for him know how to get through it. Into the castle. This is a really high-level place to be in. This is where the beta questers are currently in. And so I'm designing this castle. So I'll jump in. I don't know if I've not done anything else yet. I'll show you very quickly what I have done with the castle so far, so you can get a sense of it. So this is part of his palace, and we can also go down to the ground floor. And so I have this area where the beta questers will be coming in, because they've learned about a teleportation circle that can get them into this tower. They found it at the bottom of a swimming pool, which connected to another teleportation circle, which brought them to here. And I'm just gonna set up the Twitch stream on my iPad here so I can also see the chat. Okay, perfect. And so they come in here to this teleportation circle. There's a bunch of there's gonna be a bunch of people behind these walls with magical crossbows, all aimed towards any intruders. It's going to be a lot of battles. I've actually got quite a lot of tokens all set up for this place. You know what, I will compare layers if it lets me right now, so you can actually see the layout. We've got some people here to meet the guests, or the kings and queens and everything else. You've got all these different rooms for they have all different purposes, but also just I just like to, when I build a map, I like there to be a whole series of different rooms that just make sense for a place. Like, not everything has to serve a purpose. Like, sometimes you can just have a lounge for the guards, because these guards are really well paid. They're working for the kings and queens, and so I feel like they should be just be in very nice conditions. And so I've got this lovely lounge. I've got some another teleportation room here, another what's the word, armory or weapons room where they can arm these cannons and crossbows. A bunch of cannonballs here, a bunch of magic bolts, and I've got a GIF, who are these lovely hippo people, who are a new race that's now playable, I think, in D&D, and they're like basically like space pirates, space pirate hippos, and I've got them here. You've got a bunch of other people, like the guy running this machine, and his kind of little associates, a bunch of knights and guards, and some other members of the King's Guard, who are the just the highest ranking guards in the tower. Got more armory and storage areas, more lounges, a library, and then you've got this area here, where you've got more of the King's Guard. One is a cleric, a death cleric, and the other is a zealot barbarian. He's unkillable with her. The two of them paired up. She keeps bringing him back to life. He keeps stacking things. And they're in just a room of corpses right there at the moment. We've got, going down here, you've got a hallway, like a trophy hallway of sorts, which is kind of cool, I guess. Where you move through here, excuse me, and there's just loads of statues of different monsters, creatures, and everything else, which gives hints as to possibly people or associates. These could be heroes for the king himself, because he's a Rakshasa, he's a demon, and so would know a lot of demons and monsters and things. And possibly these statues are maybe people who betrayed him in the past, over the hundreds and thousands of years that he lived, and he's just turned them all to stone and put them in his little trophy hall. And then you continue down here into his one of his studies, and a big thing with him is I liked the idea that cats hate water, and he's a lion, Rakshasa, and so I like the idea that he actually really likes water because it gives him a sense of security. I like the idea that he's a really paranoid king, and so he covers all of the castle with these layers of water, and he has this special kind of sense where he can sense anyone who is stepping on that water. He knows who they are, and he can walk on water, so it makes it difficult for people to maneuver around the castle. It gives him an advantage, but also allows him to know where everyone is at the same time, if they're in anywhere that they shouldn't be. He's got his own library. He's got a study where he can track where all of the wishing coins are. This is his kind of little magical study where he can pinpoint all of those things. And he's got a garden because he's got a huge love for animals, especially cats in particular, and birds. So we've got a little cat here all curled up sleeping. And even though he likes cats and tigers, he still has a tiger carpet. The guards posting all these areas. And what else have we got here? What does cat say? Oh, cat, yes, you are great. Then you've got the kitchen. I've got a bunch of buff were-rats and a were-tiger as the chefs, because I think that's a cool idea, that there's all these super kind of crazy people making wild food, and I love kind of flipping tropes as well, having these really buff barbaric creatures serving food, making really nice food. You've got all the people who work in the castle here, currently in the dining hall. You've got beds. I didn't really go into much detail with these beds. These are all bedrooms for different members of the staff or guests. This is a kind of a music hall, like really elaborate, like lots of little fountains and nature all around. Self-playing instruments that play tunes magically. And you've got a Furbolg who's like a janitor who maintains that area. Some bathing quarters so you can bathe and wash before you go into this lovely elaborate place. It's kind of like a spa. I like the idea that it's kind of really humid in here, like kind of like a steam room. You can just kind of lounge around and listen to music, and it's very kind of Romanesque and everything else. The king is... Oh yeah, sorry. What do you say there, Sheriffs? Oh yeah, which king is this? He can walk on water. Yeah, he can. He can walk on top of water. He's a water walking king who is like... yeah, he keeps making lots of wishes and gets more and more powerful over the years, and that's how he came into this kind of position as well, being the king of the merchants' village. You might see him sometime soon. Who knows? Or maybe a while. It might take a while. You've also got a nice little church set up because he worships a very particular god who is from the elemental chaos, and there's hints to that here. He's got all his lovely cultists going on there, praying to that guy, or girl, or whatever. You've got some war guard rooms, just an outpost for looking out over things. You got some war guard barrack towers, and you got a little spiral staircase here. There's loads of ways the party can go in this castle, like right from the start. You can go through these sets of stairs here. You can go up through this spiral staircase. You can go up through this storage area. And I've got these just two random dudes, which I really like, who just manage the storage area here and all the goods, and they're like the treasurers of the castle. Really jacked dark elf who uses magic, and then a really tiny little inventor, smartass kobold, who I also imagine having, you know, one of those green visors where they kind of like, you know, constantly check on money. You know, they got one of those machines that they kind of pull back and like little reams of paper come out and they tally up the profits of the castle. We're going to challenge him on a water walking contest. He can, yeah, for sure. I'm up for that. Rail's got to learn how to walk on water. That'd be cool. Okay. So then, that's the ground floor, essentially. There's no other way into the castle, really, but bar this teleportation circle. Because the king's really paranoid. We got the first floor then. This is where the water walking really kind of comes into play. So if you come up through the study, there's these two bridges here. You've got a waterfall, like this pillar of water that comes down into the center of the room, which you can travel up if you can travel through water. If you can swim up through a waterfall. Yeah, you gotta practice. Gotta start practicing walking on water. So, you've also, because he has a love for animals, and I like the idea that he loves fish as well, because he's a cat, he's just got a collection of loads of deadly and beautiful creatures all living under the floor of the castle. The water floor of the castle. So they might kill you as well if you can't walk on water, if you can't swim fast enough, and you can make your way up here through this hall into this lovely room, which I haven't put a door in for, so I will do that right now. Let's pop 2 doors down. Go snap. Here we go. And there we go. Alright. I haven't put one here either, so I'll do that as well. Okay. So moving up here, you have another hallway that leads to the throne room, where the king is, where the king might sit or meet guests. Again, lots of water features here, and of course, because he's a villain, the throne room is surrounded by electric eels. So it's electrified water here, which is just fun and gimmicky. More stairways where they can continue upstairs. Oh god. I'm gonna get some water. Another library for studying, and I just really loved putting these little effects in where the water's rippling around the pages of these books and notes and stuff. It's kind of cool. You got little fishies. Another set of stairs which can continue up onto another floor. Another library, lounge, study area where you can wait before you meet the king. This is a space for the king to pray. This is his own kind of ritual bathing area. where he will go to be washed before meeting guests, and another place for guests to wash their feet before meeting him. Kind of like a little fish bath, and you've also got the fish that eat the little bits of dead skin off your feet. So I like that. Then you've got this grand hallway that you got to walk up all the water to get through, which leads out to a balcony which has no railings, and the idea is I want to have an encounter here with two of these king's people, the guards of the king. We'll be facing off against some of the party here on this balcony, and it's raining, so it's gonna be slippy. There's gonna be lightning storms all outside, and to get past them I'll have to defeat them on the slippy surface on the roofs. I just really like that idea that you're hundreds of feet up or 100 feet up or so, and if you fall off you're kind of screwed, so you gotta like fly around, you gotta take deck saves anytime you want to move, and it's just a nice narrow space where they can funnel the party. They can it's just a nice chokehold spot for the Kingsguard to defend. And then finally you got this room filled with loads of octopus tentacles coming from another dimension, which will also try to grapple and stop the party getting through. And so they'll go through here. Although the players can also just cast levitate, that's another thing they can do. And also then we've got the storage room, which also leads up to this bigger storage room where a lot of the booze is kept, but also another little water ritual area has been set up to pray. What is all this stuff to do with praying to water? It's very interesting. So yeah, you've got all that kind of stuff going on. And now we're going to go to the map on the next floor up. So I will open that. Save changes. My phone is buzzing. I'll check that right now. And so we're here on this floor. And so here we go. We're gonna invent this new floor. So this is where the waterfall will rise up into and come up onto this layer. So I'm gonna start putting water down here with my lovely water brush, and I can just I can actually just get a nice circle going here and just place a blob of water down. Perfect. And we're going to just change the tones here, make it more greeny. I do like the deep blue, but I think it's kind of cool coming up into a lighter area. Also, woohoo, I don't know if you're there, I just heard that your Rose can play tonight, which is nice. So we're going to have, hopefully, a Space Wizard game this evening. We're going to have about 4 players, which is going to be great. So I'm going to maybe make a map for that as well after I do some work on here. But this Saturday, for anyone watching, we're also going to be running a Beta Questers game. So Beta Questers is a party who has been playing through this campaign for the last 3 years. They're the first players to play through this world, and I've just, it's because of them that I am here now continuing to play games in this world. And we don't get many games together because a lot of us now are working and all over the world at this stage. We're all scattered, but hopefully we'll be able to play a game this Saturday, which is why I'm making this map. And then also this evening we'll be playing a lovely Space Wizard game, which is a game where every player in any campaign can all come together to take part in a series of weird, wacky adventures and games in a collective space which connects all of the universes. And it's usually Space Wizards who bring them there. So we're going to have a fun game there. And Cat, you say, he likes water, it seems. Like another person I know. Yes. Who would you be referring to? Would it perhaps be Rael? The little water-loving boy. Okay, there we go. So now we got some nice water. I love the water. I just love adding water to things in this game because it just looks so cool because it fucking animates, which is dope. But now this room, I had the idea that I wanted to build a room of mirrors, where they could face off against a character. Wanted an encounter in a mirror room, which is used to almost protect something very precious to this king. So I'm going to start building the mirror room here to start things off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the walls. This is Dungeon Draft, by the way, this program that I'm using, and it is amazing. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to build a wall, but I'm going to turn down the opacity to 0. And now I'm going to just start, turn off snap tool. I'm going to start building a bunch of walls, all at these weird angles. And I'm going to then, when I've done that, I'm gonna start putting some, some interesting lights in here. Start playing with some lighting effects so that we can hopefully make this place look like a weird hall of mirrors. You'll see what I mean now when I get to it. Okay. There we go. So there we go. This should hopefully disappear a little more when we start putting lights down. What does Cat say? So Cat says rail and demo. And Sharis, you're saying water loving mama boy. He loves his water mama. The hydrated van. I can tell that Rail and this king will most likely clash. Maybe. Maybe you'll get along swimmingly. I'm a comedy genius. Alright, so I'm going to change this lighting to blue. And I'm also going to turn down the intensity a bit because we're going to have a lot of lights here, but I'm going to put up the range a load. Maybe turn down the range a bit. Yeah, there we go. So now you can see we're gonna have some cool lighting shit going on here. We've got all these nice little angles. Okay. Might also have to put some more walls in the center of the room. Set up. All of these strange, it's gonna make it look like there's just a bunch of mirrors in here, which I really dig. It's gonna be really strange, which is, I just want the effect that there's mirrors in here. And it's kind of cool to just put down actual walls as well. Okay, that should be fine for now. Okay, now we can start really playing around with the lights. Yeah, there we go. Look at this. Really freaking cool, dude. Turn down the intensity a bit because these lights are all going to start layering up and it's just going to start getting really intense. Don't want it to be too bright. Might turn up the range. Maybe the intensity can go up a tiny bit. Okay. I'm going to just fill in these blank spaces as well. There we go. Look at that. Heck yeah. I might go over some of these things just to delete some stuff because it might be too intense. See, the way this is actually getting too much, it's just turning into one shade of blue. So I might have to go back over and change those. Yeah, this is just looking at like one blob at the moment. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to choose particular lights to get rid of. So, oh wait, no, keep that one. Delete that. That's a good one to keep. It's a good one to keep. That one I can delete. Oh, I don't want that one. There we go. That one can go. That one can go. That one can go. And keep that one. So I'm just trying to turn down the intensity of some of these as well. So that a bit more strange. That one might need to go actually. There we go. Now I've got a little more layering up going on here, which is nice. Yeah, it's much better. Select this one. I even delete that one. Yeah. There we go. It's looking a little cleaner now, which is nice. Starting to look pretty good. That'll do for a hall of mirrors, I think. If I wanted, I could start adding some different colored lights in there, which could just add to that weird optical illusion. Let me see what it looks like. Let's try and add. Let's try add some pink. That's kind of good. Yeah, okay. Try another color there, like yellow. Let's add some green to it. Let's make things look really freaky. There we go. Yeah, and then I turn on the darkness, the light here. Yeah, look at that. That's much nicer. I might go back in here, add one other color, maybe add a, let me see, add a red, see what that looks like. Nah, keep to this nice selection of colors I've got going. Maybe a green, sure. Kind of makes it look like a nice crystal area. That's perfect. Look at that. That just looks great. It looks awful when I do that, but still looks kind of cool. Swimmingly. Yeah. I'm glad you liked swimmingly as a joke. Ha ha ha. I am so funny. So there we have our hall of mirrors. So it's just a nice fun way to make things look like it's filled with mirrors, but also water as well, so that's all reflective. You got the reflective walls, and just to see people in this, I'll have people make perception checks at disadvantage, or they're gonna, you know, different people will get full cover and all this kind of stuff. It'll just be a really fun way to play with people, and the people who know the mirrors won't have disadvantage, so it'll just really screw with the players. Okay, and so going back to the other room that we had, this is where you can go up into, you come from the throne room, and so I'm going to have maybe the king's quarters here, because this is where the king can come down and enjoy some time to himself. So I'm just going to check something over here very quickly. Now, okay. Now, because I'm also simultaneously while making this, I'm organizing the Space Wizard game. So I'm going to try to. So apologies for 2 seconds. I'm just going to put my face on pause. Check out this cool new thing that I made. Look at that. Isn't that sexy as fuck? Thanks as well to all the people around the gang for making that lovely Savion thing. I've just put this as a little pause screen, which I think is pretty sexy. So give me 5 minutes, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I'm gonna get rid of this beautiful Zavion thing. Woohoo! Look at me, I'm back. Also, look at my lovely washing here that I've got just drying. Because, just gonna turn the screen a bit. There we go. Hello, welcome back. I'm building this map for this beautiful palace. We just built a hall of mirrors, which is pretty dope. I'm pretty proud of it. I'm working on Dungeon Draft for anyone who's curious. And Dungeon Draft is just, oh, chef kiss. So next I'm going to build one of the lounges and the kind of the space where the king just chills and relaxes for himself. So we're going to fill this room with water because I am a little water hole. Especially on Dungeon Draft, they just do it so well because it's animated and it's sexy as fuck. And there we go. Got some beautiful water here. I'm debating whether or not I like the green or if I want to make it darker. If I want to make it a dark blue, which could be also very nice. So what's cool is you have the deep color. So we want to make that depth like a nice royal blue, like ultramarine. And then make it a little lighter, kind of like a cobalt blue, like a light cobalt blue. I know all my colors now because I work in an art shop. There we go. That didn't work. What if I just do this? Boop. Are you blue now? Nope. Okay. So if I just undo the water and then place it down again, that should work. A little bit of fiddling, but be too dark. It might be too much, but I also really like it. I'm just gonna bring back, let's lighten this up a little bit. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna have just some nice random lights as well, some nice ambience that we'll work on. Why can't I do anything all of a sudden on this thing? Okay. Okay, so I have no options for right now. I think the game is acting up, so I'm just gonna pause the stream for 2 seconds while I just reboot this. So I'll just put on this lovely Xavion thing here, and I'm going to talk over it while I just save this and then restart it. That was weird. What are you saying there, Cat? You're saying you didn't have to call yourself out like that, Gabriel. We can't see it. Wait, can't see. Oh, the wash. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. Oh, wow. I think I lost 3 viewers there just for canceling that stream there and canceling this. But hello, I'm back. Okay, let's see. Open up Zercha's Tower, 2nd floor. And hopefully I can add stuff in again. Yay! There we go. There's our lighting. So let's get some nice blue lighting here. Yeah, there we go. Just increase the range a bit. Go for this. Yeah, I'm gonna add some furniture first, but for now, just so I can see what I'm doing, I'm gonna put down that. Probably gonna add some walls in here as well. So let's get a nice dark blue wall straight down the center. Here we go. And then we're gonna have a grand set of doors just here to lead into this place. So boop and boop to scoop. Okay. Now this is where people will come up into. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move that wall down over these stairs because I think it'll lock this in a lot better if this goes down here like that. There we go. And just gonna go into the stream here, turn on this music a bit. Okay, ooh, placed a wall by accident. That's alright. And then we're gonna just have another wall. And no, we're not. We're just gonna let's see here. Play around with some stuff right now. So you're gonna come up here through these stairs, and we're gonna have our doors, double doors here and here. If anyone has any questions about D&D or map making or anything else, let me know, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. And we're just gonna get up the stream chat here so I can actually see what people are saying. And there we go. Alright. Okay. For some reason I cannot see the chat properly. It's very strange. Yeah, it's alright. Whatever. Okay. Furniture. This is going to be a nice lounge for the king. I might turn it into a bit of a bar, I think. So we're going to find out if I can get some inspiration here for what to put in this room. And it's decorated with some nice blue crystals. Just start things off. And I think they'll be the light source. this room. Just stuff a couple in here. There we go. As you go up the castle, it gets a little more fancy because this king likes to keep everything for himself. So what I can actually do there, I can go in here and actually I'll delete that. I'll just make some new light sources. That's quite nice. Range, we're gonna go 8. Yeah, that's fine. A bit more. Wood. 1. There we go. Beautiful. There we go. And we got some light sources here and here. Okay. So, then we're going to go in and make our little bar setup here. There we go, bar. It's a nice table in here that I can use. There we are. So just snap that in. Go. It's some nice lounge chairs. Here we can just relax. And this will be his meeting space to have with guests. You can come in here. Get rid of that. Go and chair. Hopefully find a nice long. There we go. A nice plush sofa. Turn off the snap. Okay. And some. Oh, there's a nice one as well. Actually, that's a much nicer one than these, I think, personally. It's a bit more minimalistic, which is kind of cool. I don't know why I have a bar down here, just existing. Just bring this bar back a little bit. There we go. And I'm gonna move these chairs as well, just make it more central here. Let's have these around a big table. Something a little fancier looking. I'll go with that for now. Or I suppose this is quite nice. It's kind of small. It's the only thing. Not very practical. Turn off the shadows. I'll go with the circle table for now. And that is preferably not broken, and maybe has a nice tablecloth on it. Okay. Got the nice fancy table here. And here. And here we go. That's a bit better. Gee, that's a nice table. Let's see. What question have you got there? Let me see. You have a question, Gabriel. What would you say are 3 main things to remember when building a layout for the setting in a game? Okay. That's a good question, actually. For building the layout of a setting in a game. So, I would say if you are starting from nothing, start small. It's the best thing I can say first of all, is to just start with a small idea. A town or even a bar where you want things to start off in. If you have a story, you have a world already, and you're building, say for example, I've got a world right now and I'm building this castle. What I start with is, okay, there's a few things that you can You look at the party first, what the party can do and what they're capable of. And depending on what you're running right now or what you want to go, well, I would go with a theme as well. First, think of your theme. What kind of mood or atmosphere you want to have with this. So for this example, with this castle, I wanted it to be a heist. This is the heist scenario. So that's my theme. It's this whole adventure, this story is going to be a heist game. So this king is going to be very paranoid. He's going to be, I'll base everything around that. So this king, so for a heists typically in heist movies, they go for like the impossible thing to break into, like Ocean's 11, and you've got freaking my brain's gone now. But anyway, heist movies typically you want to break into the thing. It's really hard to get into. So this king, he's the richest character in all of Gostar. He has these wishing coins. He has one of the wishing coins so far. The party wants one of them. They're going to break in here to steal one of the wishing coins. And so I need to make this really difficult to get into. At this stage, because all my party's level 18, they can all teleport. So if they wanted, they could just teleport to the coin. However, because this king runs this entire city, he's been looking after these wishing coins for ages. He has a lot of really powerful enemies. He's going to defend against a lot of things like that. So this is a great way for me as a DM. I know what the party's capable of, so it's kind of me just trying to make it as difficult as possible to get into this place for them. I am the king here. And what I've done is anyone who tries to break into this place, anyone who tries to teleport into the facility, there is a defense mechanism set up that reroutes anyone's teleportation spells to the to the cells, to the dungeons of this city. So if you teleport directly into the dungeon. And I've given that information to the players to start off with because they research this place, and also as a DM I could just do that and not tell them, and it'd be really shitty of me. But them knowing that they can't teleport, it still makes that thing difficult, and it's not just going to be random and out of nowhere and they're like, oh well, that's kind of fucking shit that we're just in the dungeon. Now I've given them that bit of information so that they are aware of it and it doesn't feel like it's kind of just out of nowhere and it's just like unfair. Because I want them to have fun in the end, but I want it to be difficult so they know they can't teleport in there. And there's always the want to maybe teleport in there. That need is always going to be in the background, and they're like, oh, maybe if we shut something off, and they can plan around it. But basically, I got rid of that aspect to make it more difficult. This guy also, his castle is surrounded by an invisible maze that changes every day. So getting into his castle is very difficult. They found there are specific spots in this house party that they went to. They went to another manor, and there are little teleportation circles hidden around that manor that the royalty can use to get to and from the castle safely. So they found those, they rewired them so that they can use them, and so now they can get into the castle. Now everything in this castle is based around the king's paranoia, so he's got defenses for everything. The water, for example, the king has an ability where he can sense anyone who steps into the castle that touches this water. Anything that ripples, it's like a spider web. A spider knows when something lands in its web because it sends like ripples throughout all the wires, and the spider can feel those ripples. That's essentially what he's able to do here. And that's why he's got everything flooded water. It also makes it difficult to maneuver around the castle because everything's flooded. But he can walk on water, so he's kind of putting himself at an advantage straight at the start. You've got this hall of mirrors, for example, so that it's hard to just get out of this room. You can be lost forever, and if he was to fight you or someone was to fight you here, they're always going to be at an advantage. That's what I wanted here in this place. Wanted to make it really difficult to get in here, Really wanted to challenge the players. So my first theme is something difficult, something challenging, and something like a heist as well, where the players have to really research this castle if they want to actually get through it. Because if they don't, they're going to be really struggling. That's my first tip. Come up with a nice theme and try to stick with that theme. You could also stick with a horror theme if you want it to be spooky. Base everything around that. One time I wanted to make basically like an alien scenario. You know, Aliens, the movie. So that was my horror theme. And so I had this sewers scenario that I made up. And people had to maneuver through the sewers, but there were these like frog people, and basically if they attacked you, they would plant their eggs in you. And it was a slad, is essentially, that was going around these sewers. There were several slads. And that was another thing that we played with, and that was really, really fun. That was my theme there. Next is, I would say, with creating a theme or world, a map or whatever, know your NPCs who are going to be in this world. For example, I know this king is very paranoid. I know what he wants. I know what all of his individual knights and followers want to inhabit this place. As long as you know what your NPCs want, the players can throw anything at you and you'll be able to have an answer for them, because you're just gonna, whatever, you'll know what the NPCs and how they'll react to what the players do, because you know your NPCs well enough. I think that's an important thing too. So just know your NPCs and what they want, and really try to make them into characters that you that are just, you know, believable. And just, they don't even have to be believable either. They can be totally wacky, but as long as you know what they want, maybe how they got here into this dungeon, and then something else. So what they want, how they got here, and maybe think of some kind of, you can always come up with a connection to the player characters. It doesn't have to be a personal connection, but just think of each one of them, how they would react to each of the players. Maybe just have an idea. Like, I know if the king met them, he's going to be really cocky, or he might not be. He's going to hope he's never going to meet them because he's made this place so elaborate. So when he does meet them, he might be really shocked. He's going to be like, oh my god, I've got how did you get through this, all this stuff, this is impossible to break into. But he's also going to have a front put up where he still wants to seem confident, like he's in control, like he's still, he predicted this, he knew this was going to happen. So you're going to have these layers with him if he meets the players. They're going to break in. Inside, he's going to be screaming like, fuck, I'm dead, because there's way more of them. They've killed all my kingsmen or whatever, and now they're here. They've gotten through my hall of fun, just like all my traps, everything. They've broken through all of my security. I'm kind of fucked, but he's going to be like, yeah, no, I knew you'd get here, and I've got a backup. And I will have a backup for him. He's going to have a few things that he can throw at the party. But essentially, he's not going to want to be in that situation. And, you know, if people incite him, they'll be able to see that. And maybe they can turn everything into, instead of combat, they might be able to turn it into some sort of, you know, more of an encounter where, what's the word? A talky situation. Maybe. So that would be my second one. Know your characters who are in the place. Know your theme. And then I would just have fun. In terms of getting a layout, I like to... how do I go about it? I come up with ideas. First, I start writing down notes. If I know the players and I know the people who own this dungeon or whatever, who run it, I know what's going to roughly be in here. With this king, everything's going to be extravagant, over the top. It's going to be filled with paranoia, ways to defend his castle, traps everywhere, guards everywhere. So I know, because I know my PCs, I know what's going to be in here. And so now I just need to start building it and laying it out. So I would get all my bullet points down. I know what kind of things are going to be in here. And then my third thing, I think, is just come up with cool scenarios as well. Just cool ideas. You've seen a movie and you're like, oh wow, I love that rolling boulder in Indiana Jones. I want to put that in my game. Just put it in. Find a way to put it in, and that just makes sense. He could totally have a boulder in here because he's super paranoid. If you have a cave full of kobolds, they're tiny and squishy. They don't want to die. They're going to put rocks and traps everywhere. Someone, maybe mad professor, you want to go visit his house, and you want to put the rolling boulder in there somewhere. That's amazing. No one's going to expect a giant boulder to come out through the roof of a lab, but maybe he's like, no one can get to my work. I'm going to blow it up with this boulder and just destroy the whole place. Just things like that. You'll find a way to put it in. You'll find a way. And just, I like to come up with cool ideas. Like, for example, I wanted a hall of mirrors. I thought that would be a really cool scene. And so I want to put it in there. And it fits as well with the story. So just start then coming up with cool ideas that you want to put in. And that's, in the end of the day, people want to just... Oh, what does Carl say? Bees? Thank you for the bees, man. And hello, blue flies. Look at that cute little emoji of the little barrel. That is gorgeous. But yeah, in the end of the day, people play D&D, so cool shit can happen. They want to play it and watch cool things happen. They want to feel cool. They want to be in cool scenes where it feels like they're in a movie. So in the end of the day, just make cool shit happen. Oh, it's a mug. I'm very sorry. I can see the little handle now. That's really, really sweet. Easy little tavern mug. That's so cute. That's awesome. But yeah, make cool stuff happen in your place, and then just build it from there, and theme it based on the NPCs who have built it, who have made it their own. And that's all I can really say then. They would be my 3 things: know your theme, know the people in it, and know your just come up with cool things then and stitch them all together. Blue Side says, it's one of my homebrew races, Awaken Mugs. That is really sweet. I love that. I'm a huge fan of mimics as well, and I love using mimics as not just chests and everything else. I love there being just, it could be anything. You could have a pillow, you can have them, I've had them as wardrobes. Have a whole freaking room just be a mimic, and that's fun. An Elmo race, that's amazing. I actually have a monster. It's not a race, but it's a monster. I have a cookie monster, which are basically just slabs, but reskinned as cookie monsters, but still quite fun. Yeah, you're welcome, cat. Okay, so going up here, this is the mirror room. It's gonna lead into this lounge. I'm deciding now if that's what I want it to lead into, or if I want it to be... Maybe I could have this room lead somewhere else. This is basic hall mirrors. He's going to be defending something. He's going to be protecting something. So maybe a lounge is just another front, another place to defend. And then this might not be connected here at all. This might just continue going up. So I might just get rid of these. These are 2 separate rooms now. These are just 2 separate rooms now. And I might actually have an invisible wall that connects those. So basically, if I go back to my other room on the 1st floor, I have this area here. This is the king's study, essentially. You can get here from the... So, actually, I want this almost to be private. I've got the ground floor. This area leads to the king's study. These stairs can lead up to this waterfall area. The king goes here, and he can actually, he's the only one who can get up through this fountain. Maybe I want this room to lead elsewhere. And then this room goes to the dining area. That makes sense. I might make a new room. Go back to here. Instead of this place leading to up here, essentially, I'm going to have this lead to somewhere that the king really wants protected. So I'm actually going to get rid of this if it allows me to delete it, please. Building, edit points. There we go. Maybe if I just go in here and just delete these, I can go in here and delete this water as well. If I click Alt, I can just erase this water. Yes. There we go. Now, this is actually going to be its own separate area. This lounge I'm going to keep because I actually like it a lot as an area where the king might take guests to hang out in. And then there's going to be a back room here for love. There we go. Try to connect these somehow. There we go, that'll do. It's a bit gammy, but it's fine. So the king will bring people up here. There's a back room that he can leave out into. God. Just put a door there. Yeah, that'll do. Perfect. Now, what do you say, Blue Flies? We also made the Elmo race. Funnily enough, we have Cookie Monster sub race. Nice. So the Cookie Monster comes from as like a sub race of Elmo. It's kind of cool. My Cookie Monsters are more on the diabolical side. I might actually have a token for them here that I can show you. Let me see. Cookie. Yeah, here we go. This is my Cookie Monster. Bring him into the light there so you can see. There you go. That's my Cookie Monster. They're great. They plant their little cookie seeds inside a person, and then eventually they become a Cookie Monster, and they just keep devouring cookies. And if you have a Cookie Monster plaguing your land, they're just asking for cookies constantly, or they're going to kill everyone and eat people. So you have all these bakers making cookies constantly, and all the fields are going barren because they're just using all the grain and flour and everything to make food for the cookies. People start starving, and cities go into just a really bad place because they have no food for themselves. They've given it all to the Cookie Monster, and I just love that idea. It's like, we'll just keep, looking after him until he just goes away, but they won't. They'll just keep eating forever. I'm gonna just come up with a little lounge here for guests as well. Just a small little room. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. A nice sofa. Change the color there to that nice blue. There we go. And we got this. Where's the nice one that we were using? Yeah, there we go. This is just going to be pretty simple. So they're going to come in here. This is another place where you can discuss things, even like battle plans and everything else, with guests. So now I've got to just think of what kind of guests the king would have. He's a really paranoid person. He's not going to ask many people to come to his castle. So it would be other probably lords and barons, or, at the moment I know that Star Platinum is experiencing a lot of uprising because this king, there's rumors that he's associated with demons, and there's another lord. She is taking over the whole world, filling it with demons. And so people think there's a lot of racism going around in the city towards tieflings and everything, and other demonic races. And the king is allowing them all to live here, and also the people believe that this king is siding with Lucy, the Fey Lord, who's bringing all these demons in. They think he's taking her side and not protecting the people. And so there's an uprising going on here, and he is going to be bringing in lords and generals and everything else to just, help him out here. This is where he'll make truces. And so we'll have maps of the world, we'll have things he can point to and they can discuss. This can be a bit of a meeting room, and when they're finished here with making their battle plans, everything else, they can move into the lounge and they can actually party and chill. So I'm thinking. So we'll get a nice table here. They can, it's a chair actually. Let's get this table with the hands, or a long table. Let me just look up table. Find something nice. Yeah, we'll use one of these tables here. It works. Might tilt it slightly. I might get some books as well. Some bookshelves. Have them running along here. That could actually be quite nice if I get it to fit. Get rid of that sofa. Just move it. Yeah, that'll do. Nice chair there. Bookshelf. Yeah, this will just be a nice lounge where people can figure stuff out together like this. Smoking cigars and all the like. Put a big stack of books on things where they've clearly been doing a lot of work and research on these matters. Make it look like it's been busy. And typically then when we start playing, I'll have a sense of this, what's been going on in each room, and if people choose to investigate, I'll know more or less what's going on and have them roll. Depending on how well they roll, they'll find different bits of information on what's going on. So for example here, these might be all documents on, you know, truces and things like that between parties around Gostar, where they are put a wine bottle in here actually. It's kind of funny. Where they're making plans to, I'm not going to say much because I don't want to spoil much, but yeah, things are happening. Put another cat in here because he loves cats. Put another cat on this table just because I can. Because I start just seeing things here and I'm like, that fits, that works. I'm going to put that in. He does love plants and nature as well, so I'm going to put a few of those in. And a few just gargoyles. Kind of watching over the place. Make the characters paranoid, feel like there's actually surveillance cameras and stuff like that. This is because this is a lounging room, kind of like where they're all going to be hanging out, bragging. He's going to have some of his trophies up here on the walls. Different beasts he's slain. Even though he is an animal lover. Actually, you know what? I will not put those on because that doesn't make sense because he loves animals. He's not going to put the head of an animal up there. And I'll do that. I'll play around with ideas a lot when I'm making these things. Okay. I think we can just leave that here more or less. It's a good place to. Yeah, we don't need to make too much stuff here. I can also fill a lot of stuff in with theater of the mind. So moving on from there, we're going to actually connect this mirror room to this room here. So no, that's not going to work. Alright, get one of these. I'm going to change this to some tiles. Going to change it to like a light color there. Walls are going to be dark. And we're going to go with concrete, dark blue. Okay, put on my snap tool. No, I'm going to just, because I know these walls will change if they touch. We'll see anyway. Yeah, fuck. Alright. This color is must be lighter as well. probably gonna be darker than normal because there's no light source here. It's okay. Let's just get rid of this environment lighting for now. Let's make it all bright for a second. And so this is awkward because basically I've started to get on this thing, so it hasn't remembered any of the information that I've been using on the previous game. What's this? When I was building these maps before, it's forgotten the settings I had for certain rooms. There we go, that's the floor. Okay, that's the floor. I'm going to make it the same color as this one. I'm just going to try to replicate what I already have. Okay. So hopefully now we're okay. If I connect these. Yeah. More or less. That'll do. And I'll change that with lighting and everything else. In the meantime, I'll also put down just some walls to separate these things. So I can put down some doors. And there we go. And that's wood or concrete. There we go. And so these off. Nice. And I like that little bit of light. That's kind of cool. I'll go with it. I'll keep that. Doors. I'll just make this one secret panel. There we go. Another door in here. Okay, this is where the king is gonna actually probably keep some of his treasure, something precious here. I'm gonna go back with the lighting. Gonna change that environment. Gonna make it darker. Make it blue. Okay, there we go. Got that lovely lounge there. This is gonna be his more secretive room. This is gonna be I think a science lab. This is where he can locate. He's already got a room where he can locate the coins. So I'm thinking this is where he makes his wishes. This is the place where he takes his coins. He has his little ritual to cast the coins and make his wishes. Okay. I like the way he does this, almost in a ritual kind of like fashion. He needs a place where he can concentrate to make these wishes so that he actually gets them right, because there's always a chance that the wishes can go poorly. So you only have time as long as the coin is up in the air. As you flip a coin, that's how long you have to make this wish, which I think is kind of cool. I'll do this on myself. So you have the amount of time until it lands back down on the floor to make the wish. But the way the coins are, they're weighted, so they're really hard to flip. So it's really hard to send them high. So this room, he's going to have a really tall ceiling. He's going to have found a way to flip these coins as high as possible to give him more time to make wishes. I'll also fill this room with some water, because he loves his water. Blue. I'm gonna go with a nice cobalty blue kind of hue here. I'm gonna fill this with water. snapping tool. Flood into here. Ooh. So I don't want that water to touch here, so I'm gonna go there. Because I like that mirrored effect that's going on there. Okay, cool. So this is his room, this is his realm, where he makes his wishes. It changes the lighting. Oh no, wait. Alright, oops. That's where I want that. This is what I want. I want this light here. Make it dark, gloomy, a bit creepy. I think I'll just keep it like that. I might put a few bits of magic-y stuff down, but I'll keep it simple enough. I say that, no, I won't. Looks good. Snap tool. No, I won't snap perfectly if I do that, so. There we are. Yeah, I think that's good. Get one more circle, but I'm gonna turn down this opacity. So it's just kind of faintly there. Yeah, should look at this one. Nah, seems better. Nice. Okay. Just have an overall. It looks cool. Actually, you know what? Put that under everything. There we are. That feels magic. Okay. Blue Fies, have you got any questions at all for D&D? Now I need to have a private room for the king, so this is going to lead down to his own personal bedroom. So we're going to have a door here as well. That'll lead there. Door leads out of here, and it's just going to lead to a very small room. I think. I'm going to get my grid snapping thing on here. This is just going to be a set of stairs. It's going to lead out to a set of stairs there. And I'm going to have a freestanding door so I can actually... There we go. Doesn't look right. Turn off the snap. I'll have to put a wall down. Just so I can separate those areas. I'll make it actually look like a wall that can move, so players might actually try to interact with that. Put down stairs. Actually, no, he wouldn't use stairs. He would use a teleportation circle. Why walk when you're a king? It's a cool line. Why walk when you're a king? That looks teleporty. That's often what I do half the time. Like, yeah, that looks like it does that thing. There we go. Okay. Right. And he can always come here when he needs to. Okay. That's going to lead up to his bedroom on the next floor. Got this place. Save. And these areas are going to lead to his Bifrost, which he has wished for at one stage. He has wished for a duplicate of the magical Bifrost that Tyr owns, where he can teleport his armies anywhere, just like that. As many soldiers as he wants, he can teleport them to any place in Gostar. And this is where his soldiers will come to, where he can teleport them to find the coins specifically. So this is going to be his Bifrost on this side of the door here, which I feel should be a little more defended. Maybe I'll put the Bifrost here, even though that's pretty small. I'll put it here. Screw it. I'm going to just have this wall sealed with magical runes or something like that. Yeah. You know what? I won't have these two connected. I'm going to have this in its own separate room. It's the dead end then. From here. So, go into points. Delete this. Wall. Okay. No doors. Don't know why I can't delete those doors, but that's fine. Delete that door. Okay, that's fine. They can exist there. This is where we'll have our Bifrost. So now we've got these are all kind of turning into separate towers that people can visit. You know, this doesn't have to have an encounter in it, but it might very well have an encounter in it. Might have some other guards who are meeting with the king at this time. So I might have some demons in here that the players can fight. So it's kind of a dead end, which can be a bit of a kick in the balls for the players, but it can still be fun because they can learn some more lore and everything else. I'm going to build the Bifrost, and then I might call the stream to an end. These are essentially just going to be hallways for the soldiers to all march through, prepare for battling or being teleported. So this is the teleportation symbol. Magic star. Layer it up with some more magic shit. Bring this to the front. And this is where you can pick points anywhere in Gostar to send his armies to. This kind of power. Just going through the whole thing. so bring it to the front. Let's see what else can work here that I can attach onto this Bifrost. Some crystals would be nice, kind of power sources. Make it look frosty. There we go. Kind of like, it's like freezing over the more it gets used and stuff, and you have to chip away all the ice on it as you use it more and more to keep it working properly. Because it's going to use ice magic, because the person who invented it is a it's a white dragon basically. Okay. Features in here now that we can make this thing look a little more technical, like it's scientific. There we go. It's got some cogs. That works. Perfect. Science. Hello, science. Teleport armies across the world. We get like a kind of a control panel here. That's an altar. You can use these things as other. You can pretend they have other uses. Some sort of screen. You can make that look like it's a you know, spectral screen or something that you could type things into. There's gonna be a power source here. I like to play with all these different kind of like have elements of those things that are like sci-fi elements. Add those into the game too. That's what I've always loved. This world that I've built, it's got all these different elements working together. Different genres. I think D&D can be anything. It's just be a collaboration of just creative ideas. It doesn't have to be fantasy or anything. It can just be something that's creative and fun. Sails into something. I go and make them transparent. Got these kind of spectral looking fans. Kind of cool webbing almost. You have to know exactly what these are for, what they do, but they look cool. They make it look like things are happening. Now there's a totem thing here. There we go. Found it. It's this broken totem that I like to use. And it looks kind of like a computer where you have a keyboard and stuff attached to it. So I like this. I like using this. Okay. And these can be used to look like doing something else. I'll get another one of those cogs and put that there. And maybe it's a bit messy now. Pare it back. I think we'll leave it there. It's a good. I can go overboard very quickly with this thing. I think I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah. Cool. Gonna add some lighting to this thing. Because this thing's going to be giving off a lot of light. A lot of magic going on here. Go some green. Go very intense, small range. Go another color, like a pink over here. Well, he's got a beep boop boop beep bop robot stuff happening. There you go. Have all these crystals give off a glow. Their own kind of special glow. And overall, I have this light. I'm just going to change it, make it a little more intense. More icy. Green. Let's see, increase the range. There we go. There you go, Bifrost. Okay. That's that. And of course, it's going to be filled with water. I'm going to go for more of a greeny water now for this. How's that going to look? Let's see. Take my snap. How about the green? Let's go more for our deep blue again. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty good. Oops. Accidentally undid the room here, but that's okay. Get that back. Alright. Back on the snap. Fill all these rooms out. Oops. Oops again. There we go. Now he's going to want his armies to be able to actually walk through here, but still want to know how many is there and everything else. So I'm going to have all this water covered in some ice that his troops can walk on top of, which will also be created by the Bifrost itself and makes sense. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to start. Adding some ice in here. And they'll still be able to hear people walking. Now, there we go. And I might put some more crystals down just to make it look a little more crystally. So you know what? I'm just gonna go in. Take this crystal right here, copy it, start pasting it. So that'll do. Don't need to go crazy here. I mean, I already am. This is already too much, but it's fun. There we go. Okay. The nice idea that this is all very icy and everything else. And I'll have all these crystals glow as well. So take this, copy it, paste it around the place. I'm actually change that because I want them to have a better glow. I need to. We'll go with dark blue. Range is pretty good. This range. There we go. That's kind of cool. Yeah. There we are. This is where the armies come through. I'm just gonna not put the weapons here. I'm gonna have them all just explain that the weapons and everything else. This is just a lead up to the Bifrost. So this is where it is, and that is that layer. And now I just have the final layer to do. I've got this, the bedroom, and the rooftop to make, and then this castle is complete. So I'm gonna save it here. I'm gonna just say thank you everyone who's been watching the stream so far, and we're going to be playing this evening at 4 p.m. So in about an hour and 20 minutes or so, or an hour and 2 hours and 20 minutes, we're going to be playing some more D&D. Going to play a Wizards game, Space Wizard game. And yeah, I'm going to go start building that map, but I don't want any spoilers, so I'm going to do that on the side. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and see you all later. Bye-bye. And how do I turn this off? There we go.